pretty genius setup you got there.
Thank you. Thank you. The multiple live feeds for different.
Multiple live feeds.
Well, different sides.
Is that 360 camera too?
That's that I'm doing too.
Whoa. Well, good on you for being out here, man.
Sorry?
Good on you for being out here.
Thank you. You too. You too. You got multiple things happening at too.
Children are watching you. Your families are watching you. Think about your actions.
Oh! Oh shit! Oh my god! Jesus!
Where's Oceti?
Like that. Fucking troll. Try to catch me. We see how you guys treat us people. That's not right. How would you like if we treated your kids that way?
See how they just charged us like that? That was something.
O'Shea! O'Shea! O'Shea, we care about you. Get back.
That was unnecessary.
We are unarmed. We are peaceful. We are prayerful.
Look at them laughing. Look at them laughing.
This happened to your kids.
You hear them laughing?
You guys are cowards. Put down your weapons. What is in your heart? You guys are cowards. You got 4 guys on 1 guy face down on the ground. Really? Oh, you guys face down on the ground. You guys. Yo, film that guy getting arrested right there. Film it, you film it!
Well, they obviously don't want us to get too close because they just charged us. Can't really get too close to film this guy because they're going to charge us again. So they intimidated us by charging us, and now that makes it, of course, difficult to even get close enough to really film, like maybe really good resolution.
My phone fell out. My personal phone.
Is it working still?
This is not my personal phone.
Oh.
My personal phone came out of the case.
Did you get water damage?
No, it's up there.
Oh shit.
My phone is up there.
We're here for you, brother.
Well, they're detaining him. I'm not sure why they're arresting this person. Whoever just said peace is the only way. I agree with you.
That cop's walking around taking selfies with the fucker on the ground. You see that? He just walked
Really?
Took a photo of him on the ground. Yeah, he just walked up with his fucking phone and took a photo of him on the ground in paint. He
Really?
smiled as he walked away. Yeah, I got it on film. They're about to make another run.
They're about to run at us again, huh?
So,
That's their way. Well, that's just incrementally pushing us back. They run at us, so we run back, and then they hold the line. Then they run at us again until we run back, then they hold the line. Obviously, it's pretty scary having a bunch of police officers in riot gear running at you.
if you guys can't hear him there on that stream, he's screaming, it hurts, my hip, my hip.
Wow.
It hurts. My hip is screaming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 officers for 6 officers for 1 person.
That's Please share this, please. Please share this. We need as many people as possible watching this.
Well, we know why. Because they're on the same side as the police officers.
So any minute now they're gonna I mean, I'm assuming they will. I'm assuming they're gonna be charging us again. Of course they put us in danger when they do that too. Somebody could easily trip. You know, it's wet, the ground is wet, there's snow still. There's no need for them to be charging at us. They can push us back slowly without charging at us, but when they do that, it puts us in significant danger. Needlessly.
Drawing down your weapons is the absolute strongest thing you can do right now. I guarantee the man next to you is thinking of it too. These lines don't exist. We're all connected. We're all human. It's only one race. You're a human being before you put on that badge. That's what you owe to yourself to be true to.
They're honorable. You can't turn this on.
They're not honorable. Who is this for? Yeah, there's a lot of people that were doing their jobs.
I'm so glad I'm not on. Like my heart would be broken if I was on that side.
Yeah, I would have quit a long time
It's
ago.
horrible. No, but they got shit, you know, like
Everybody has to. Just like fucking like right there, I was like, oh fuck, yo.
For those who were watching a few minutes earlier, the police just charged at us. All of them just charged at us. And of course we ran. It's pretty scary. But this is obviously a very risky thing for them to do. We can easily get injured. We can easily trip on the slippery floor. There's snow in some areas. I mean, it's still snowing. You can see there's a lot of snow here. There's not particularly snow on this floor right here, but you can see some potholes like this running all across this floor, and somebody can easily trip on this. And there's no need for them to be. When instead of charging at us, they can, if they really want to push us back, they could do it slowly. But instead, they put us in severe danger by making us run on this slippery, dangerous floor, and it's needless. They don't have to charge at us. That just puts us in danger needlessly. Somebody can easily trip and fall down and get seriously injured for no reason. They could be walking towards us slowly if they really want to push us back. There's no need for them to be charging at us.
There's no need for us to be here. This is unfortunate.
I think we need to be here. I think we have every right to be here.
All of us. None of us should be here.
I think.
We have to.
Well, maybe we shouldn't. If the pipeline wasn't being built in the way that it is.
I wish none of this would happen inside. The fact that if an environmental impact statement was at least completed and we had a fucking answer on whether or not this was good,
well, yeah,
that'd be nice.
That would be very nice.
If we at least had that, then
Yeah.
we would know if we're being ridiculous or not. I'm saying I understand why you're here because you're concerned. If the impact statement was made and we thought it was concluded that the water was safe, then cool. But the fact that there is no answer and that it's just we're being bypassed and disregarded, I think that's it's a shame.
It is a massive shame.
It was in process. The intent was out, and it was interrupted because somebody decided, and it's unfortunate.
They don't even want to study it. They don't even want to find out how dangerous this pipeline can be.
Don't say they. It's
Well,
not really they. It's
The Army Corps of Engineers,
Well,
and there are other
'cause
people
they were
involved.
on the process. I mean, it was on the.
Well, during the Obama administration, but then suddenly they did a complete 180.
Ever since the pipeline was built, they've been protecting it. They're protecting corporations.
What? Not corporation. First,
Yes,
it's not
they're-
just corporation. It's people who misuse corporation.
Yeah.
Corporation alone is not a problem. It's a legal advantage to running a business. But people take advantage of that advantage and they abuse it. Corporations are the problem. It's fucking assholes. Assholes are the. It's not. My name's Charlie. Corporations aren't the problem. They're assholes that are the problem. I'm not saying. Silver Lake.
We're in Silver Lake.
I'm in LA too. A lot of us are here from LA.
I live in Los Feliz. I'm in the Shakespeare Bridge. Nice to meet you. How long have you been here?
So we'll see what ends up happening. We'll see what their next step is going to be. But like I said, just a few minutes ago, they really put us in severe danger by charging at us. That puts. I mean.
I'm just like, if there's no chance of them leaving, like.
They're gonna leave either way, though.
The what?
They're basically gonna leave. Like us, you're basically gonna leave too. You're gonna leave, they're gonna leave.
We're a resistance movement. If we just went back when they told us to, that would delegitimize everything
No, but I'm
we've
saying,
done over
like, to
months.
get arrested.
Well, risking arrest. If they catch
Like,
us.
why don't we just fucking do it? Huh? No, I'm not saying to get violent. I'm saying to get arrested.
Getting arrested
I
is
don't
the
want to
goal.
either,
But you're here. You're saying we shouldn't necessarily be here. You're here.
I'm saying that none of this should be happening.
None of it should be. It shouldn't be happening because they should have at least studied this fully.
If the EIS,
They should have
like,
fully
if
studied it.
completed and there was an answer on like whether or not this is being, if the water was under risk, if the water wasn't under risk, and we had a solid answer for that, I'm sure a lot of people would be much more happier.
Of course.
The fact that there's no solid answer and that they're being like their opinions and efforts are being dismissed. You don't treat people like that, especially a father of his country. You don't do that.
So we're watching the police line over here. They just showed up pretty much in this configuration. A lot of people left today. Some of them, they kind of got, they got forced out, and we went on a march on this same road, and as they marched on the road on a peace march, they ended up getting basically blockaded out. So the police used that as an opportunity to block people from coming back in. They just marched on this road. I think at this point we might have, I don't know, maybe 100, maybe 200 people altogether in here.
Like I said, they might charge us at any moment. They've been doing that for the last, say, 15, 20 minutes or so. It looks like they have a large...
Hopefully they're not going to be charging at us again on this very dangerous road. As you can see these potholes. They're deep. You can easily trip. As you can see, my foot gets... You can easily trip in a pothole like this. They're all over this road. It's wet. There's no reason for them to be charging at us. They can, if they really want to push us back, they can walk towards us slowly. They don't have to be running at us practically at full speed to intimidate us and create a very high risk of injury. Even for themselves, interestingly enough, they're actually creating a high risk of injury even for themselves, not just us. Just by running on this wet road with all these bumps and little rocks, and it's wet, and it's got these ridiculous bumps over here that you can easily trip on. You can see I'm kicking it. My foot doesn't go past it, and that means that you can easily trip on it. And there are more over here. You can see more of these holes in the road. And of course the ground here is not very stable and even too, and you can see there are more holes in the road across this ground as well.
Anyway, we definitely have multiple days.
So right now, you know, we're watching them. We're hoping that they don't do anything violent towards us. I view that as being highly risky. It's not a direct violence. Obviously they didn't hit us, but they charged directly at us. If we didn't run from them, it's you can imagine that they might have harmed us physically by hitting us or tackling us. Who knows? They're literally charged at us at full speed. It's very scary. But that I think, you know, you might argue that, you know, maybe they weren't gonna like tackle us, maybe not. But then just by making us run down this road, by charging at us, they put us in severe danger and put themselves in danger too. So I don't even understand why they would do that. If they really want to move us back, they can walk slowly towards us and
Does anybody happen to know?
and push us back that way if they really want to push us back.
Not directly, that'd be great. Talk to him directly.
So right now it's really important that we keep an eye on this police line. You can see they're doing some videography here of us as well. There's a guy right here who's holding a camera. Better camera, better quality than my cell phone, of course. And he just walked away, actually. But there's a guy that you could see back there who's holding a camera. So yeah, they're doing videography of us too, and that's fine. They have the right to do that, just as we have the right to take video of them. It's for everybody's safety. I think it's very reasonable. Now they're backing up, interestingly enough.
No.
Okay, well fine, they're backing up. You know, there's a little bit of a celebration here by this gentleman. But yeah, they're backing off. They're backing off. I don't know where they're going. I don't know why they're backing off, but they are backing up at the moment. It might be helping the fact that we have all these cameras. I'm pretty sure if we didn't have these cameras, something a lot worse could have already happened by now.
Is this happening?
I'm not sure why they're...
See, I actually dropped my water bottle over there. They're backing up. I'd like to grab the water bottle because I imagine we're going to be here for a while. And I don't want to be the only person that walks towards them. As you can see, there are people that are kind of further back, and I'm kind of walking towards them a little bit further than other people. They're still walking back. They're still continuing to walk back. And I would like to grab my water now, of course. There's another gentleman who actually, his phone fell down on the floor here. I'm sure he'd like to grab his phone if it's still not broken. See my bottle of water, it's pretty dirty. So people are walking out, you know, as well towards the police because they're walking back. So we're walking towards where we were originally, prior to them running at us, prior to them putting us in jeopardy and putting themselves in jeopardy for no apparent reason. There was no reason for them to be charging at us like that before. Now they're backing up. They didn't make any ground by charging at us. All they did was put themselves and us in danger, literally. Because of all these potholes in the ground, you can see all these holes right here that are really dangerous. You can easily trip on it. They could trip on it too. And I don't want anybody here to get hurt. Not us, not them. We're all human beings. We all want to go home at the end of the day. So now we're just going to keep observing, see what happens. I don't know if that other gentleman was able to recover his phone or not. Maybe he dropped it a little earlier. Maybe they're still standing somewhere. Maybe it's behind them. I didn't see it personally, but he did drop his phone. And we're just here keeping the peace, you know. We're videotaping. They want to videotape us. That's okay. And you know. The only way to do this is through peace. We need a lot of people to support our cause, and we need to be done peacefully. And the police don't exactly help themselves when they do violent things or things that put us at risk and put themselves at risk by running at us on a road that's clearly dangerous. You can see there's big holes over here, and if I try to put my foot in the hole, see how it just kind of gets stuck. See, it doesn't actually go past the hole, and that means that I would trip if I ran and I hit that hole with my foot, with my shoe. And if I was running at full speed, like pretty much I was doing while the police were charging at us at full speed, that could be a pretty big injury. For no good reason. And then they ended up backing up anyways. It's a bit confusing what their tactic is exactly, but again, you know, there's no need for them to be doing things that are going to put us at risk and put themselves at risk. And we don't know that they're not going to do that again. There's a good chance that they will. So we have to keep an eye on the police and try to keep things peaceful. I don't even want to turn my camera away right now because, quite honestly, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. You can see it's still cold. I mean, it's still really cold. You can see snow. You can see mud, a lot of mud. In fact, just off the side of the road, you can see all this mud right here. And, you know, that's actually something somebody could have tripped on too. The road kind of curves down slightly. So that was a dangerous, you know, a dangerous maneuver on their part, for themselves and for us. I hope that they don't do that again. I hope that they don't think that that's really something that's going to help anybody. We don't know really what, you know, what they're thinking. Unfortunately, we can't tell like what they're planning or how long they're planning on standing like this, or how long it might take for them to do something. You know, they charged at us, then they maybe 10 minutes later they slowly backed up. So they didn't make any ground by charging at us. They didn't actually get anything out of it. All they did was they scared us, basically. They caused us to be in a position where we might get injured, potentially severely injured, and they caused themselves to get in a position where they might get severely injured by tripping on one of these, you know, so many of these holes. You could see how these potholes are. And just to show you that it's not, this thing is deep enough to trip on. You know, my foot gets stuck when I try to go in there. You know, you can see that my foot gets stuck, and that means that I would trip for sure. There's no doubt that I would trip if I were running and my foot got stuck in that hole. So I mean, it's not just like a regular street with maybe one pothole. This is like I don't even know how many potholes. There's like 100 potholes, maybe 200-300 potholes in the distance that they charged at us. That's a lot of risk that they put themselves in, and us at the same time, needlessly. They didn't get anything out of it. They backed up anyways. 10 minutes later, didn't make any ground. They didn't push us back in any way that actually affected anything. They just intimidated us. They tried to scare us. They put us in a position where we were in danger of potentially tripping and getting seriously injured, and then they put themselves in a position where they were in danger of tripping. They were actually in as much danger as us. The reality is, this is not a good road, especially to be charging at people. You can see some of those officers in the middle are right on top of this pothole, practically. Look at this. An officer is standing there, practically right on top of this hole, and he was charging at us. Okay, you don't think this guy could have fallen down and injured himself severely? Of course he could have. Maybe his helmet would have helped him, but you know, he still could have gotten seriously injured, and any of us could have gotten seriously injured. It was completely unnecessary. It was completely just useless. It did nothing at all. They ended up backing up anyways. They ended up backing up to the same point practically that they were, the same point that they started at before they charged at us.
Pick up a cell phone.
See that this lady was asking about the cell phone. I mentioned the cell phone too. There was a gentleman that dropped his cell phone. He dropped his cell phone, and while they were running at us, this gentleman dropped his cell phone, and we can't find it. It's not on the street. So there's a good chance that one of the police officers took the cell phone. Maybe they're going to search through it illegally. They're going to pretend that there was never even a cell phone. That's pretty messed up, I think. But that's the likelihood, actually, I think. We're standing here peacefully. We're not doing anything. We didn't do anything that would force them to have to run at us like that and put themselves in danger and put ourselves in danger. We didn't do anything to make that happen. It was just some kind of intimidation tactic. I thought they were trying to make some ground maybe by running at us and pushing us back and then, you know, holding their line, but it turns out they ended up backing up anyways, which they made no ground at all. It's a little confusing why they did that. I think it's safe to say that, you know, there's at least a good chance that if we didn't have so many cameras out here right now, there are a lot of people with cameras videotaping this, live streaming, that, you know, if we didn't have all these live streamers, that something a lot more violent might have happened. Who knows? But I think it's you know, what happened just now was not right. It wasn't necessary. They accomplished nothing by doing it, and they proved that by backing up and going back to their original position, the position that they were in prior to charging at us. And like I said, I'm afraid to even, you know, take my camera off them because I don't know what they're going to do. We need as many cameras here as possible. We need as many people watching as possible because this is a real situation. This can turn into some serious human rights violations, towards myself included. But at least I have a couple cameras here that are watching. I actually have a few cameras here watching on myself personally, and then there are other people that are videotaping as well, a number of other people. So we have some oversight at least. I certainly don't want any kind of violence to happen here. I'm sure that the vast majority of people here, you know, don't want any violence, including the cops. But you know what? Whatever they did earlier was showing something that wasn't positive at all, and that was not necessary. And now they're backing up again. You can see they're backing up right now.
This is live. This is unedited.
You can see them walking backwards right now again.
You judge for yourself. I don't really feel like I need to defend myself.
So you can see now they're backing up again. So basically, they're backing up to a point. They're backing up further away than they were before they even charged at us. The purpose of charging at us, there was no purpose. I don't know. It seems that they were trying to intimidate us. I thought maybe they were trying to move the line back. There are officers here with.
Why are you guys backing up?
There is an individual here that has some type of weapon. It looks like an assault rifle.
Yeah, he has an AR-15.
I mean, helmets don't.
You guys want some water?
It appears that he's got live rounds.
I got water.
So you can see there is a gentleman there with an assault rifle, and somebody else, one of the reporters, just said that it was an AR-15, which is a common rifle that's used by police. So they've been moving back right now. You can see that they're continuing to move back. The police are actually stepping backwards. So right now they're not charging at us, they're slowly walking backwards, which is kind of, in some ways, surprising. But, you know, it's uncertain exactly why they're doing that. But what I'm hoping is that you can see this road is actually quite rocky. There's a lot of rocks here. A lot of debris, just a lot of rocks in the road. Little twigs, rocks, all kinds of stuff, including these potholes, which I was showing earlier. I want to show this again, in case people didn't see. You can see that my foot gets stuck in it. I'm kicking this pothole. I'm actually kicking it hard. You can see that my foot's not coming out of it while I'm kicking the pothole. You can see that I'm kicking the pothole again, another pothole. This is me showing you that this is obviously, there's a lot of these. These are lined up, a whole bunch of them. There's on this side of the road, there's a whole bunch of them in a row. Then there's a whole bunch of them right here in a row. And then over here there's a bunch of them too. You can see, let me show you, it's kind of hard to see, but here you can see a bunch more of these potholes that somebody can so easily trip on and get seriously injured, including the police officer. Easily. So just maybe 15 minutes back, they charged at us to try to scare us, I thought that they were trying to move us back and that they were charging at us for the sake of simply to make some kind of ground, or maybe to intimidate us, or both.
Hey, this doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, well, they're backing up right now.
No, this is tactical.
It's tactical, but we don't really understand why exactly.
Hey! How's it going, brother? Oh, you can't talk about me, not talk. Hey, I got water for you. Hey, this is tactical. They're not scared of you.
I don't think that they're scared. I think that they're doing it for a reason. Maybe it's because there's a lot of cameras here.
There's a rifle in his hand.
No, they're not scared of us. They're not scared of us physically. That's for sure. We don't have any weapons. They're the ones with a bunch of batons, a rifle. You know, they've got all kinds of stuff. I'm sure they have pepper spray or whatever else that they can use against us. They're not scared of us. That's not why they're backing up. They might be scared that, you know, maybe this makes them look bad. Some of the stuff that they just did about, 15, 20 minutes ago, how they put themselves and us in danger by charging at us on this rocky, ridiculously bumpy road that has all of these potholes in it. And, somebody could have easily fallen down and gotten seriously injured, including a police officer. You can see all these potholes in a line. You can see how they're filled with water right now, which makes them even more dangerous because it's harder to see them. And you can see here, if I put my foot in it, my foot doesn't go forward easily. This one is a little bit more, yeah, you can see, look, it doesn't go. This one over here, they're all slightly different because these are some these are some old, potholes. So there's some people standing back here. I'm actually more in front than the other people documenting, but there are other people documenting, and a lot of them. A lot of people are documenting here right now, and that might be part of why they're backing up. Maybe they realize that some of the things that they were doing earlier, such as charging at us at full speed, causing us to have to run away from them on this really dangerous road. Maybe they realized that that was not a good thing to do, that that was not the right thing to do, that that was a dangerous thing to do, and that they put us in danger and themselves needlessly in danger. Okay, so the officers are saying. I'm going back. I'm going back.
One grandma left, guys.
You can see that the police officer he didn't charge me just now, okay? He didn't charge me. He was walking at me in an intimidating fashion. So the police officer didn't like me being as close as I was, I guess, which was probably about, I don't know, 40 feet or something away from him. But so what they're saying is that there were some people that were trying to leave, that were having trouble leaving, and now they want to allow them to leave. What I heard was that it was some lady, that an elderly female who basically has her car stuck somewhere in the snow or in the mud, and she doesn't want to leave without her car because she doesn't know what's going to happen to her vehicle. And it's like a larger vehicle, like a bus. It's probably worth a reasonable amount of money. You wouldn't want to lose that much value. Who knows what they're going to do with it? They could throw it into the trash. They can give it to the junkyard. So, so there was that one officer. He was saying that he expressed interest in talking to the lady or multiple ladies to try to, negotiate or try to resolve the issue so that they can get out of this place for those particular females. But no, they didn't like that I was that I had walked, I guess, within maybe 40 feet or so of them. So one officer started in the mask. So he's not even he doesn't even have his face exposed. I mean, I have my face exposed. I'm not but he's apparently afraid to be seen. But that was the specific officer who walked towards me in an intimidating manner, which caused me to run away from him. And interestingly enough, the other officers don't have their faces covered, so I don't know why this one does, but he's kind of the intimidator at the moment. There's another officer too with his face covered, actually, with a cap. Just moments ago, one of the officers had walked towards me in an intimidating manner. He got relatively close to me, and of course I ran because, but at least they didn't charge at us. Okay, at least they didn't charge at us like they did 25 minutes ago or so. At least they didn't charge at us, because about 20 minutes ago, the whole police line had charged at us. Had basically very fast, and we were in a position.
We're trying to find out the situation. That's where she's running right now.
The guy with the white flag there, he told me there was 4 of them that need to get off.
Yeah, we already got the other ones out. Yeah.
So it's one lady left.
We got one holdout. That's what we're gonna find out. She seems to be a holdout. It could be a treaty stand. I don't know. That's why we got to run it going.
Okay, so this officer is willing to talk at least to some of the people here. There was the other individual that's standing there right now, and the 2 individuals in the front right now do have masks, and they're state troopers, or one of them's a state trooper, the other one I'm not sure. Yeah, so they had. Obviously I'm not a threat to to any of them. There's no reason that they need to be afraid of me, really. I mean, they allowed other people to get closer. They allowed a couple other people to kind of negotiate or talk to them at least, which is good. I can't say that's a bad thing. But then when I got even almost as close, you know, when I started trying to get as close, they were threatened the first time. They were threatened specifically a lot, where the guy walked at me really kind of quickly, and I got, of course, you know, a bit frightened, and I ran. And then earlier than that, you know, about 15 minutes before that, there was the entire police line charged us on this road. This is a bumpy road with all kinds of potholes, all kinds of debris all over it. You can actually see on this part of the road, in the middle, there you go, you can see the potholes kind of a little bit. You know, they're you know, I don't know what they're thinking. You know, like this guy's kind of looking, you know, towards me. I don't know if they're gonna try to run at me or walk at me. There's no need for that kind of intimidation tactic. I'm obviously no threat to them. I don't have any weapons. I'm not doing anything that puts them in any kind of physical risk or anything like that. And actually, there was a lady that walked that was almost right next to him. That, you know, but then I walked she was like a few feet away from him, and I was maybe 40 feet or so. But he took me as a threat, probably because of my camera. But you can see how this road has all these bumps that are really deep, and you can see I try to put my foot in it. My foot doesn't just go right past it; it gets stuck because, you know, it's deep, and it's actually they're a little bit less visible than they would be maybe otherwise if they weren't filled with water right now. I don't know, maybe that's not true. Maybe they're you know, maybe they wouldn't be. I can't tell because I'm only seeing them with water. Regardless, it's kind of hard to see them anyways. You can see that there are people back there. So most of the people are standing a little further back. I'm trying to, you know, document from a position that's, you know, we can at least sort of make out what we're looking at. I mean, some of the people have zoom cameras and stuff too, so if something happens, if something violent happens, you'll still be able to see it in other people's feeds. But I'm trying to be as close as I can be. As close as I can be. I'm obviously not threatening them. I'm obviously not, you know, trying to intimidate them in any way. I'm just simply trying to make sure that things stay peaceful. As you can see, I'm zooming in a little bit here, and there's one lady that's talking to them in the green, so they're not necessarily so intimidated by her. Now they're running at this guy. So now they're doing that thing again. I dropped the battery. It's okay, no problem. So I dropped my battery on the floor. Okay, so you can see there was one officer, the same one who last time he was walking fast at me and I ran away. This time he ran at me, but it was one officer. Unnecessary completely. Again, putting me at risk. And himself. Unnecessarily. Completely unnecessarily. Simply because I'm documenting. I mean, this is a cell phone, you know, I'm trying to be able to see, you know, something, you know, like as legibly as possible. So obviously I don't want to stand, you know, half a mile away or a quarter mile or whatever. Trying to be as close enough, at least. Right now I'm probably like, you know, like 100 feet plus away from them. It's a pretty big distance. It's not, I don't know why they feel the need to charge at us or at me, trying to push me back as if I'm some kind of physical threat to them or something. Like, really? I don't have any weapons. I have a couple phones. That's it. What kind of a threat am I? Completely unnecessary. We have all kinds of bumps and potholes in this nasty road. Look at this road. Look at this. Look at this. Like, you're gonna charge at people on this road for no reason. This is what this particular officer did just now. Earlier, it was a different section of this road. It was the potholes in the middle were more defined, so you know, in that regard, there might have been more dangerous. So you can see the potholes in the middle. It's just, I think the debris, there's so much debris and other stuff here right now that it's almost kind of hard to see the potholes in the middle. But you can see them clearly. They're filled with water. And I'm kind of afraid to walk too, much closer, because I know that they're gonna probably try to do something again. They're gonna probably, put me in danger again in themselves. Or one particular officer might do so.
I want to know if we can convince her.
So this gentleman, he's trying to negotiate. He's trying to help to make to get this situation resolved. Where there's a lady who I believe has her vehicle stuck, right? And she doesn't want to leave without her vehicle. That's what I heard.
Could be it.
So that's what I heard, that she has her vehicle, and it's here. She doesn't know what's going to happen to her vehicle if she leaves without it, and she wants some help to get her vehicle towed out, to pulled out of this mud. There's flood water. There's just massive floods everywhere. There's a lot of flooding. You can see all these floods right here. You can see there's a lot of flooding. There's snow and flooding. So some of this is kind of hard to see in this camera right now. But there's some of the areas are snow and some of them are flood. Like these areas, right here, all this stuff is flood water. Well, depending on what we're looking. I'm hoping you can see. It's kind of hard to tell because it's a camera. It's not maybe the best resolution. It's a phone camera, But in any case, so the issue is that from what I've been told, is that there's a lady who has her vehicle stuck, and she doesn't want to lose her vehicle. So she wants for somebody to help her get this thing towed out, which I think is very reasonable.
Well, we're here for the time, see what's going to happen, see how we're going to strategically move forward.
You're a veteran?
Yeah.
U.S. Army? Thanks for being here.
All we're doing is just monitoring the situation, trying to keep things peaceful.
Well, it's very important for us to understand that this is all about money, about greed, about oil companies.
Ma'am, can you come back so we can talk, please?
And, violating rights of Native Americans. Haven't we had enough of this? Still, very harsh conditions for people to be able to move out, but yet here, and we hope that we continue.
So they're trying to kind of have
So she said we're just wanted to hang out.
That's for sure.
And what was interesting to read then is that what we're talking about is clean air and water. So it's interesting that none of this had to be done with pipelines. So what is...
I don't know. That's our info. So what is... And they're probably watching these videos right now, so
Yeah, let's...
Yeah, go. Yeah, I get what you're saying. So they want to talk about this and kind of have negotiate and basically not do it in front of everybody. It's reasonable. They want to have a private conversation. Okay, so there's an attempt here at least to create some type of resolution for this particular female who's in this position. What I was told was that she's trying to leave, but her vehicle is stuck and she doesn't want to lose her vehicle. So she needs some help with towing it out. So there's some attempt here to try to resolve this issue. So, multiple people, of course, there are multiple people involved in trying to negotiate this. They're trying to solve this problem, and that's an issue with one particular lady. Now, in terms of this,
let's not keep pushing them back, guys. We got a good point.
I don't feel like we're pushing them. We're kind of. I feel like they're walking back again. I don't want to push them. That's not my intention here. But I do want to document for sure. But I definitely want to just keep documenting. I know that some of the officers don't like that we're documenting, but or they want us to do it from a really far distance to where like you could barely see anything. But I think that makes sense. They don't want people to document. They don't want to be incriminated somehow. They don't want to do something that might incriminate them. There's no need for them to do anything that would incriminate them in the first place, though. So yeah, so there's a bunch of officers that just walked back. The other officers over here in brown, they are, it's hard to see the color, but I believe they're state troopers. So those are police officers in black. These are state troopers, I believe. One of them I saw that it said state trooper on the back of his jacket, but I didn't see it on all of their jackets. I just saw it on one of them, one of their jackets. So I might not be entirely accurate whether or not the officers in the front right now are state troopers or not, or whatever. There's a police officer there too, okay, and then there's a bunch of police officers that just walked back. They kind of, you can see them from a distance. They're heading back somewhere. Again, I'm not sure why. It's kind of up in the air. It's not certain why they're doing whatever they're doing. I'm just here. I want to help to keep the peace, of course. I want to support the water protectors. I want to support this cause. But what's most important about me being here right now is that there's definitely a real risk, a serious risk. Today's eviction day. There's a serious risk of violence towards us, towards water protectors, towards journalists, towards anybody here potentially who's not aligned with whatever the officers are trying to accomplish. But there is a serious risk, and I think we need as many cameras as possible. So she was trying to speak with them about something, and they kind of shoot her away. That's what I saw. Or one of the officers specifically shoot her away with his hand.
I gotta talk to them real quick.
They're talking. Okay, they just shook hands. Okay, so that's good. That's a good sign. I like that. I like that they shook hands at least. They're trying to resolve this issue with this lady. And again, what I heard was that she has her vehicle stuck here. She doesn't want to leave without her vehicle. She needs some help getting it towed out. I'm not sure what the entire situation is, but that's what I heard. Again, there's so the officer is telling us to get back, and they apparently that's. So I step back a little bit here. I'm not that close. I'm probably like 40, maybe 30 feet at least. It's probably like 40 feet actually. But I'm not that close anyways.
Police have broken formation. I don't know why.
We have no idea what they're doing.
This is a
no
very
idea.
strange thing.
No idea what their intention is, what they're doing. I think that it's not hurting that we have a lot of people watching, that we have a lot of eyes on this and oversight. It's most important that we keep an eye on this situation. We keep an eye on the officers here. They were doing something pretty crazy before. They charged us.
Yeah, they charged us
and times. They charged me. One officer charged at me. the whole group of officers charged at all of us initially. And if you look at this floor, and I've been showing people on the feed, you look at all these potholes. You see how they're these deep potholes, and if you put your foot in it, you can see how it doesn't just go past it. You know, you'll trip on this. These are potholes. These are in the middle of the road. These are on the side of the road. You know, they were actually endangering themselves and us at the same time.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that there's people down there, you know, so as the police formation was coming closer this way, you know, I think that they started to get a little worried that they could potentially be flanked. It's not really a safe situation for them when they don't know who's hanging out in these tents down there, who could potentially come from behind them. So that could be another possibility.
Why they were backing up? So that's why they were backing up?
I don't know.
I mean, they charged us, and I thought that they were trying
to.
Us,
what, 2 or 3 times?
3 times, I think.
3 times. Yeah.
No, I got a good workout out of it. I liked it.
Yeah.
Heart racing.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
3rd time's the charm for me when my phone fell out.
Oh, so they charged before I even got outside.
I got a good workout.
So before I got outside, they charged twice. So I saw the first one, and then they charged, and then there was one officer that walked towards me because I was kind of closer than a lot, you know, most of the other journalists or most of the other people documenting. And one of the officers started walking at me really fast, and then I ran away. And then again later, and I'm not like 10 feet away from him. I'm like, we're talking like 40, 50 feet. And then again later, he actually did charge at me, the same officer. You know, again, putting myself and himself in danger. This road is just horrible. Look at this. I mean, this is not, I mean, somebody could fall down and seriously get injured. So, I mean, and so you're saying there were actually 2 other times even before the one I saw?
Yeah.
Even before the...
I got charged 3 times.
I see. So there was...
I just want to go right over here.
Cool. So yeah, we definitely. So what I started documenting. I saw the first time that the whole group of officers, there was a bunch of them, a whole line of them, charged at us, and apparently there were. What I'm being told is that right before I got out to this street, there were 2 times that they charged right before that. So again, they're putting people in danger for no reason. They're putting themselves in danger for no reason. There's no need for them to be charging at people. I'm not threatening them. I'm not a threat to them. I have a couple cell phones. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just trying to keep the peace here. You brought a bunch of food here and stuff? How long ago?
I got here to like 1 in the morning. No, actually, I got here at 9. But then ended up having to do a bunch of stuff.
So what happened with all the food? Like, where'd it go?
The food's it's over at Sacred Stone where it's getting distributed.
Okay, yeah. Well, people. So what I hear, from what I understand, that people are allowed to be at Sacred Stone right now, at the moment at least. There is an eviction notice. So I think it's coming up. Was it 26th of
coming up.
I heard it was 26th of this month, but you hear different things. But right now, at the moment, Sacred Stone is safe to be at. We don't have to worry about getting assaulted by police officers.
The safest one. 7th generation is over by Sacred Stone. I guess I don't want to say specifically where, but it's on private property of a woman and her child. 7th generation is just on that land only, so there's no chance of them legally being able to come in and do anything.
They can't even argue that they can legally.
Yeah, they can't even argue.
So
they can argue because half of the camp is not on her property. So
half
some of it's on, some of it's not. So that's how they get away with it. But with 7th generation, there's no argument.
There's no argument at all in that case. So right now we have, of course, Oceti Sakowin camp is right now. Today's eviction day.
He's got shoulders.
And we have officers here. We have intimidation tactics being used, tactics that are dangerous, not only to ourselves but to them as well. They're charging at us on this ridiculously bumpy road with all kinds of with all kinds of these potholes all over it, like these weird potholes in a line. And this is in the middle of the road. You can see these holes. They're on the side of the road. You can see more of them, and on this side of the road. So they're using some tactics that I think are not necessary and put us at risk and put themselves at risk as well. And we're just standing here. Nobody did anything violent towards any of them. Nobody's got any weapons. So I mean, right now, 7th Generation and is safe, and Sacred Stone is safe at the moment. So this gentleman was saying that he was saying that that 7th Generation is the safest, and Sacred Stone is kind of second.
Yeah.
And
both in the relative same direction.
Yeah. So. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, that's the information right now. Oceti Sakowin camp. They're not allowing people to come in here right now. There's a barricade. Last night it said the road is closed, but in fact there was a checkpoint, and that was last night. But today they're not letting anybody in here, and today is eviction day. So but if you want to go and support indigenous rights, and you want to fight against this pipeline and others, such as the XL Keystone Pipeline, then you can support at Sacred Stone. You can support at 7th Generation as well, and they're all around the same area. Sacred Stone, you can actually see it. I'm not entirely sure where 7th Generation is, but Sacred Stone's like, I think, a mile and a half or so away from this camp. So it's not, they're not moving us that far, but you could still support this cause. It looks like, it's hard for me to tell exactly what the distance is. I could probably calculate it if I actually measured these potholes. If I had a measuring tape and I counted the potholes, I could probably count exactly how far away they are from me. But I'm thinking it's like 40 feet or so at least. But it looks like if you get a little bit closer than that, they just start flipping out and charging at you. If you get even 1 foot or so, like this is like the limit. It's like already awkward, like at this point, like it's like 40 feet or more. It might be more, I mean, but it's quite a distance, and there's definitely no reason for that kind of intimidation tactic that literally can cause a serious injury. This is a bunch of people just running at you, and they can easily trip, and you can easily trip. You never know. People could fall down in a kind of unlucky way or whatever, and get seriously hurt. There have been people that got seriously hurt, permanently injured, at this camp, by the assault of police officers. There's one female who had a piece of her arm blown out, literally a big chunk of her arm blown out. Like she doesn't have she's not going to be able to ever be exactly how she was before after many surgeries. Another female got shot right in the eye with a foam bullet, which is kind of like a rubber bullet. Different people call it different things, but yeah, it's like a big foam bullet that's like a hard foam, and it's shot out of a very large caliber gun. It's like a really wide bullet. And it hurts a lot, and it apparently doesn't hurt but it can seriously injure somebody permanently if it hits them in the eye. So somebody else here at this same camp was shot in the eye by this gun, and she was blinded, and she had multiple surgeries, and I don't think she's ever gonna, I think it's impossible for her to ever. Maybe in the future, with some kind of technological advances, she'll be able to see like she did before. But there's no reason people should be seriously injured here or anywhere else by law enforcement. I mean, people who aren't being violent. I mean, I understand if you were, attacking a police officer, violently attacking them physically, and they responded and hurt you, I mean, I can understand that, but I mean, to be hurting people physically, permanently injuring people physically, that's not right. That has happened here. So of course we need to be here documenting just to make sure that things stay safer. So do you know a lot about what happened, what's going on with this particular female that's an older lady? I heard she had her vehicle stuck and that she doesn't want to leave without her car. I don't know if that's accurate.
I know that there's a woman, an elder. She loaded all of her stuff up onto the bus, and it's now stuck in the mud.
Okay,
They're trying to figure out how to get it out. There is a chance that they could, if they remove this barricade, bring it this way. However, opening up that barricade isn't advisable.
It's not advisable. Why?
A lot of people are afraid that if they do that, then they'll just come in and sweep through, or they'll see it as a sign.
Okay, so there's some issues in terms of like,
you got to stop going up there, otherwise it's just going to start arresting people. That's what they said.
So they're saying they're going to arrest people just because we're videotaping them?
What is this guy doing?
Some gentleman's walking up to him.
Who's that?
I don't even know where he came from.
Hey, he's got to get arrested. Does he know that? Yeah, I tried to, but does that guy know he's going to get arrested?
So we just got word that the officer was saying that if people are walking up closer, that they're going to get arrested. I mean, I assume that was the intention of them charging at us, to kind of indicate something along those lines. But again, there was no reason that they had to be doing it in such a way that was severely putting people at risk for potentially falling down, injuring themselves, losing their property, which one person lost their cell phone. I could find out. I mean, last I checked, that cell phone was not required. It wasn't acquired back by the person who dropped it while they were charging at us. But I got to find out to make sure. I don't want to, misreport the facts. But he did drop his cell phone while the police line was charging. I dropped my water bottle while they were charging at me. I mean, it was in my pocket, but I had to run pretty fast. They were running at us pretty fast. And it's pretty scary when you have a bunch of police officers with batons and some of them with guns. I don't know if the officers that were running had the guns, but certainly they did have batons. The sticks, those metal sticks, you can hurt somebody really bad with. They're very dangerous, very intimidating. We do have some documentation coming from the sky. Quadricopter, which is a drone with 4 propellers. So, yeah, we do have some documentation happening. I'm not sure who's documenting, but fortunately we have some eyes out here. We have a lot of people videotaping, live streaming, and we also have a drone at the moment in the sky. But you can only send up a drone for so long. You can only send them up for whatever, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes if it's... And I've never heard of a one that goes up 30 minutes except for like some gas-powered one. But you could do it, I'm sure, but not in this cold. Right now it's very cold. You can see the snow. Electronic devices usually don't work quite as long. Batteries don't last as long when it's really cold. So, let's see. This gentleman walked towards the officers. He spoke with them. I don't know what exactly they talked about. Hi, what's going on? A phone? Mine are being. I'm currently live streaming. What happened? Can you tell people what happened?
I was. Well, I came in yesterday to see what was going on. And, when I came through the gate, they smelled marijuana. They found 2 joints. So they arrested me, handcuffed me, brought me to jail, and I was in jail. And now I'm trying to get my car, and they say I have to call this number in order to get my car.
So you had a couple joints.
I had 2 joints.
Okay.
I had a couple in California.
Yeah, where it's legal. Yeah.
And they smelled it, I guess. When they stopped me. They arrested me, handcuffed me.
Sure.
You're already out. I went to trial this morning. They dismissed the charges.
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
They don't want any more.
But now I want to get my car. I don't know how to get.
Oh.
So they said my car may have to be moved, but my phone is dead. So I was hoping I could borrow somebody's phone to call this number.
I'll give you my phone. I gotta get you guys a pen.
Okay.
For this. We're gonna go by fire, but we need to stop instigating them, otherwise they're gonna raid us.
So they're saying that we're instigating by videotaping them or by coming too close. But for what?
Fear. It's
No, but of what? Well, I mean, I'm asking you.
illogical. It's not real.
Yeah. I mean,
They have fear.
but what do you think that they're afraid of?
They don't know.
They don't know. Is it
That's
because?
why it's illogical. They don't know.
Do you think that they're maybe just scared that we're going to somehow incriminate them? That they might incriminate themselves on
I
camera?
don't think it's anything to do with that. I think they want to go home. Their families, they have no idea what we're doing. Everybody just wants to go home.
But they know that we're live streaming. That we're trying to,
Oh, yeah. They get that.
But they get that we're live streaming, but we're not. All right, so now we have some more negotiations that are about to happen. So the police they really don't like us being anywhere near them. They want us to be like literally like a couple 100 feet away or something, which doesn't make it easy for us to monitor their behavior. It doesn't at all. Because, by nature, a cell phone doesn't really have usually the best lens. It doesn't have a zoom lens on it normally. The ones that do have zooms, it's kind of like not entirely like a perfect type of zoom, and it doesn't go very far. So, if you're doing live streaming on a cell phone, which is what we're all doing, it's pretty much extremely difficult, if not impossible, to see what anything, maybe they're afraid of people being able to identify them if they're doing something wrong. I don't know. That's possible. So they want us to be as far back as possible. They're not standing there with their line right now. Of course, you can see a bunch of trucks right now, a bunch of police trucks. They're SUVs, a bunch of stuff, a bunch of officers' vehicles parked on the road.
They will actually stay there, and they will allow us to stay in camp if we don't go up there.
Wait, okay, so you're saying that we can stay in camp?
Well, for right now.
As from what the police officers just said, we
I
can
tell you everything on the live stream.
Okay, all right.
Why not?
So for the moment,
Tactical.
all right. So right now, from what I'm hearing, they're saying that for the moment, at least for the time being, we can stay within the camp, and that they don't want us to, I guess, walk down this road where they have all their vehicles parked. So they're afraid. I think they're afraid of something. Apparently, they're afraid of something. I mean, they certainly shouldn't be afraid of the person walking towards them with 2 cell phones live broadcasting, because I'm certainly not going to do anything violent. So again, I don't know why they would be acting that way towards people who are documenting and who are broadcasting. It makes no sense at all. So whatever fear they have, I don't think it has anything to do with their physical safety. But who knows? Who knows? Some people are paranoid, or some people I don't know. They have their reasoning, but again, there's a real need here to have this documentation, to be monitoring people. So right now, it feels like the tension's a little bit lower at the moment, just for the moment. But again, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know, how things are going to turn out, what kind of things that they might do, what kind of things might happen, and that might end up ultimately leading to massive human rights violations. It's happened before. We don't want it to happen again. But the police are afraid of the structures? That they think that just because there are people camping here, like they've been doing the whole time, that they're going to somehow attack the police? Yep. Like, why? I mean, it just... They're paranoid? Well, you know, I mean, I don't... It's just...
Yeah, they're scared of numbers. They're scared.
So there's... But there isn't even that many people left right now.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people are there, really, in reality? How many people do you think right now are in the camp? Like
within this camp?
Probably less people... Something, a glove, whatever. There's probably a lot less people within this camp right now than there are of them right there.
Yeah.
Overall, because you can see their cars are actually parked really far back.
We just have land. We have all this land.
There's a lot of land, but there aren't that many people left. Today was eviction day. Most people left. A lot of them, it seemed like they were kind of, sneakily, there was a peace march, and when people went on a peace march down the same road, they suddenly said, "Oh, okay, we have an opportunity to basically prevent people from coming back into the camp." Yeah. So they used this peace march as an opportunity to kick out pretty much, like, I don't know how many it was, maybe like 70% or more of everybody that was in the camp. So they literally just like, oh, that made their job easy, right?
In reality, they didn't. I wish they did.
Well, I mean, I don't wish that they do anything that's going to cause any human rights violations like what's happened before. People's arms being half blown off, people losing their eye, that actually happened. I mean, I don't want that to happen. I mean, that's why we need to be here documenting as much as we can, as many people as possible, as many cameras as possible. I mean, it's just crazy that they're police officers. They have weapons. They have assault rifles. They have weapons that they don't really have I don't think they have the best reason to be thinking that we're like in a position that we're gonna cause them serious harm. But you know what? If they are truly afraid of that, I get it. Okay, like maybe there's some psychopath in here. Maybe they don't know. Whatever. I guess it's possible. So I mean, they don't want us coming next to their cars, anywhere near their car. At this point, that's what the current situation is. They don't want us like walking down this road. So from what I'm hearing is that like at the moment, there's some kind of like almost like a truce for the moment, where they're like, okay, don't come towards us. We're not going to bother you. Don't bother us. Like for the moment, that's what's happening. We don't know if that's going to continue. The people that are here want to stay here. We don't want to leave. So like if we're not hurting them and they're not hurting us, I think that
hurt us, but we don't hurt them.
Well, they do hurt us, of course, but this road is blocked currently. That does hurt. That does hurt people. That hurts.
The man broke his hand earlier. They tackled him and he broke his hand.
Wow. So you found out that his hand. So it looks like his hand was broken.
Yeah, he was screaming.
Yeah, he was screaming. There's a pretty good chance that they were on top of him. There was a number of officers on top of this person.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened, why they just jumped on him. I don't think I saw, because I think it was somewhere in the process of us running away from the police and all this hectic stuff happening. I didn't even see with my I'm sure it might be on video, but I didn't even see why they tackled him. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it looked like they were pretty violent towards him.
I'm pretty sure they had a real reason. They just felt like they said because somebody was recording.
Maybe they didn't feel like somebody was recording at the moment, so they decided that they wanted to intimidate us. That's also very possible. That's not outside of reason at all. Again, at the moment though, at least at the moment, it looks like there's some degree of like for the moment there's like the tension has reduced through some negotiations. Ed was talking to them. There was negotiations there, and it looks like things are a little bit more calm at the moment. But there's more details that I don't know about right now. But it looks like just at the moment things are pretty like. See, you can see that they don't currently have the police line. It's not happening at the moment, but that's kind of, who knows how long that's going to last for. I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, there's some fear, I guess. It's possible that some of the officers are afraid if we're anywhere near them, that we might do something. Again, I guess they don't really know who's who. I mean, it's possible. But what we do know is that they were definitely using some really serious tactics of intimidation against us, and there was that violence that happened against that one gentleman. Again, I'm not sure entirely what happened there. None of us here were doing anything violent. They didn't have any reason to feel like me personally, who was doing videotaping or live streaming. They didn't have any reason to think that I was going to cause them harm, but they were charging at me. They were charging at the whole group of people who were videotaping. They were charging at people just to get them somewhere back. And as if we're gonna do something violent. Like, just think logically. Like just think logically. Like, we're really gonna go and start doing violent stuff towards them on camera, live streaming to thousands of people. Like, really, that's not gonna happen. It's ridiculous. We are peaceful, and the thing is that just for them to be so kind of like paranoid in a way, that like just because a person with cameras is walking towards them. A person with two cell phones, like documenting, just live streaming, as if I'm going to do something to them that's going to be violent or something, Yeah. So what if I'm walking towards you? You can't say, hey, what's going on? You can't talk to me like a person? Say, all right, look, I don't know. But they don't want to be on camera. They don't want to be. They don't want to be. I think that maybe they're afraid of being identified or something. I don't know. There's.
Because their families are watching. The whole families are watching. The whole world is watching.
Yeah.
They're watching all their wrongs. They're watching what they're doing wrong. This is going to be held for future generations to watch.
Of course, this is history right now. This is eviction day. This is just a tragic day. This is a campfire. This is a tragic day. I mean, an eviction. They for what? So people can't speak their minds.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is an attack on indigenous rights. This is an attack on treaties. This is an attack on human rights. This is police brutality. This is all kinds of issues that have come up. And on Mother Earth, and water, and just so many different issues that have happened coming from law enforcement side. Violent stuff. It doesn't need to happen. It doesn't help them either. I don't understand why they think that it helps them to do violent stuff towards us, to use intimidation tactics that are unnecessary. I don't understand why they think that.
I'm not too sure either. I think that if they think that if we're afraid enough, we'll back off and that we won't come back.
Yeah, like they want to scare us, so we'll be scared. Like, like they're charging at us, or they might do something, or this, that. So we're just gonna be like, okay, I'm just gonna leave. People that are left here, they actually really care. And the people who left earlier, they really cared. Yeah. Some of them were afraid. They couldn't afford to go to jail. I mean, there were people that were literally tricked today, in a way. Like they were walking, doing a peace march. And I actually was getting some of my equipment ready here so I can do live streaming on two separate channels, two separate cameras, so more people can see what's going on. And I was in the middle of that, and they went on this peace march, and I'm actually glad that I didn't go with them, because that I didn't have my equipment ready, because I wouldn't be here right now, standing here, if I went there, because I would have been basically blocked out of coming back in. So they just walked down the road. I mean, and they didn't walk that far, and they just said, oh, this is our opportunity to stop people from coming back to into the camp. So I mean, again, this is a situation where basically they got like 75% of the people, if not more, just to leave right away, just because they were exercising their right to freedom of speech. And they were trying, and they were doing something. It was a peace march. This wasn't even it's like they weren't doing anything bad. They're literally marching for peace, and they were tricked in a way, and they were just like, oh, okay, we have an opportunity now. The police basically said to themselves, I'm sure, oh, we can get most of the people out of here easily. And I guess that happened. That's too bad, but.
It's really heavy.
It's heavy. It's too bad, and people march down the street to make their voices heard, and then the police took advantage of it and, you know, got most of the people out of here. And the people that were left here, you know, they want to document the situation and have their voices heard and stand up for Mother Earth and stand up for treaty rights and indigenous rights and human rights. And we are all people. The police officers, I'm sure, most of them are, you know, yeah, I'm sure I'm sure we relate on many more levels than we differ. And there's some issues, but at the end of the day, this is their planet too. You know, it's not just my planet or your planet or the people who are fighting right now for the environment. Yeah, it's the police officers' planet too. They have some ownership in this planet as well, and they should care about this, about what they own in a way. They should care about what their, you know, children and their grandchildren and their great grandchildren are going to have to experience. Yeah, they should care a lot about what the image they're portraying.
They shouldn't just be carefree about their actions and hurt people in such a way. They shouldn't just act this way and try to intimidate us. We're standing our ground for everybody. We're not just here for one. We're not here for just indigenous people. All the Mother Earth. We're here for the people. We're here for the environment. We're here for all the animals that grow here. We're here for the water.
Anyway,
Yeah. This is important, and this should be just as important to them.
It should be.
I mean, look, it's just you know, I was talking about this earlier many times. These potholes, you know, like there's these potholes all throughout this road. You can see like they have like these three areas. It's kind of like almost like a lane. I guess it was a lane, maybe. It looks like it was a lane actually. Looking at this part over here, you can see some paint here. So you can see that it was some kind of a lane, divider, or something, right? So you have all these potholes that are like, they're like deep, right? You can stick your foot in it and you can't just push it right out. So that means you would trip if you stepped in here the wrong way while you're running. You can easily trip and really seriously hurt yourself. And they put themselves in that same danger by running at us. And look at this road. Come on, it's got all kinds of little rocks. The road is falling apart. This is the, you know, kind of, you know, repairs on infrastructure that the city does apparently. But you know, the road is falling apart, and they're charging us on this road. They just got chunks of it falling out. All these little rocks coming out of it. All kinds of, like, you know, debris, like these worn out like lines that I guess they were at some point divider lines. At this point, they're just the holes in the ground that don't do anything, and unfortunately they put us in a position where you know, our safety was at risk. And so was theirs. And it's like crazy. Like, why would you do that? Like, you know, so if somebody's videotaping you from 40 feet away or whatever, so what? If you're not doing anything wrong, then don't be afraid of it. Like, you're not doing anything wrong, fine, you're doing your job. Just be peaceful. You know, don't put people at risk for no reason. You know, like, I get you have bosses, like, maybe it's not every individual officer's fault that they're here. They were told, hey, you got to come here, da-da-da. But they should at least try to not use tactics that are going to either injure people or put people at serious risk of injury, and then put themselves at serious risk of injury. Like, why? Like, seriously, I mean, it's just crazy. To me, it's like, why? Like,
I feel like they have more of a dedication towards their job and the corporations that they work for, other than the people that they're supposed to be protecting and serving.
That's true. I think that's true, and I think that they're you know, again, we're kind of generalizing in a way, but, like, you know, there are obviously all kinds of individuals there. The police officers, they're not all bad. There's all kinds of different people. You don't know why they're here. Some of them probably don't want to be here at all.
I'm sure that some of them would have wanted to drop their weapons.
I'm sure some of them would like to join us, because they really don't want this pipeline potentially polluting their water as well, which it can.
Yeah,
you know,
runs to one of the largest reservoirs in America. It's over 75% of the freshwater reservoirs in America. And if that goes, what are we going to have? What are we going to have to drink? What are we going to have to provide for each other? We won't have anything. We're going to have to rely on foreign imports. We're going to have to rely on other places to get fresh water. And it's not going to come cheap. It's going to be expensive. In the long run, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to pollute our whole water, to pollute our nation. Because it might not blow in this couple of years, but it may blow in a couple other years, where, like, your grandchildren see it explode, and it's going to impact them a lot more than it's going to impact you
But you got to think about the future. You can't just think about the now, because in the future, in the long run, that's what really matters. Their children, our children are our future. And if we can't provide for them, we're going to have to become the caretakers. And that's not a pretty job. It's not a good job to have. Having to watch your own civilization die is not a good job.
Yeah, right now it's all about money and it's all about work and trying to, I understand from their perspective. Of course, the police officers, they're not, like I said, they're not all bad. Like a lot of them, they're in a position where they want to put food on their family's plate, and they're already doing that job. And even if they realize that they're not supporting the right cause right now, like this is not, they're not supporting, they're not on the side of right, they're not going to say anything because they don't want to lose their job. They don't want to lose their they don't want their family, to have struggles with their,
This might be their only source of income.
This might be their only source of income. So, I mean, it's not like I'm hating on all the officers here or something. But what they did though, this whole charging us thing and doing it on this messed up road over here with like these huge look at this huge block of what is this? Like, is that a piece of wood or is that a brick? Or is that like a piece of concrete? Well, this is a piece of wood, which actually it's kind of a large piece of wood, but pretty sure that you could trip on this easily. You can easily trip on this or stumble on this. This is like a really dangerous piece. Like again, it's just a piece of wood. Now, I mean, look, I don't agree with what they did. I don't agree with it. And they did it multiple times. They did it 2 times before I even got out to this road. Like I said, I'm not hating on all of them. I get that they have families and they have things that they're trying to put food on their plates, and maybe they don't. And I'm sure that a lot of them, like you said, they might want to. They agree with us. Like they don't even like. I'm sure that a lot of them I don't really like this pipeline, but this is my job. So I mean, we shouldn't be like hating on every individual officer and all that stuff. But like when they do certain things, like it has to be. They have to be held accountable in a sense that we need to be holding them accountable by showing their actions and hopefully deterring them from acting certain ways. Hopefully we can keep them from acting a certain way that's going to put people at serious risk, put people's lives in jeopardy, which law enforcement here has done before. Anyways, thank you. So how long have you been here?
I've been here ever since last Monday, and I really wanted to come here before, but
I
never had the chance to make it out here because all the rides I had out to get out here, they kept on falling through. And they wouldn't never ever pull through. And so I made the decision and the commitment to get here by myself, and so I hitchhiked up here.
Wow, that's awesome. And I wanted to come here a long time ago too. And I just got here very recently, and I really wanted to come here. I mean, so many of us really support this.
Yeah, a lot of people, they support this, like what we're doing here, but they can't come here because they have a family, they have a house that they got to keep on paying for, they got jobs, and that's understandable. And they still try to help provide for us. They still bring donations in. They still help fund us in certain ways, and that's totally acceptable. But some people, they say they're about it and they don't donate, they don't try to put in like effort into trying to help us.
Okay, so look, as we're seeing, there's some kind of a pickup truck. There's not a pickup truck, a tow truck. So this is good that we're still recording here. I like to record long periods of time so we can try to capture everything, all the important stuff. So there's some kind of tow truck here, and maybe this tow truck is here to help that lady. So apparently there's a bunch of stuff on a bus that they can't seem to, she loaded a bunch of stuff onto a truck, all of her things, and this not a truck, a bus, and this bus is stuck, and she doesn't want to leave without her stuff. Mm-hmm. She needs to get her stuff out of here somehow. So again, I guess they're trying to tow this truck because this ground is really unstable, extremely unstable ground. And you can see there's a lot of snow. You can see that there's, if I can zoom in a little bit, you can see that there's a pool of water there. There's actually a pool of water. Sorry, my zoom thing. It's sometimes hard when you're to zoom accurately when you have 2 cameras at the same time. But mid-range and for most things it works. But anyways, you can see that there's a pool of water here. on the ground right past this little flag, and there's a lot of mud, and like I can show you right here, just by stepping right just off the road. There's I mean, this mud's not as bad as what I had broadcast yesterday. I mean, yesterday I was showing you like some serious mud, like where my foot was literally going into it. And inside the camp, it's like that. That's how bad it is inside the camp. So, I mean, this is like really, really bad mud, really bad conditions. Vehicles easily can get stuck in this particular camp right now. But people don't want to lose all their stuff and all their things. They need to be able to retain that, and that's very, very reasonable. So at least there was some kind of negotiation, there was some kind of talks, and we were able to there was the negotiations. They were able to figure out how to how to settle things down and hopefully how to get this truck towed out, this bus towed out, but we don't know if that's what this truck is for.
Yeah.
This tow truck might be here for something else, but I'm hoping that this situation with this particular lady who has her stuff stuck on this bus, can get resolved.
Yep.
I'm sure there are other people's things on that bus too, and so that's something that we need to think about too.
Mm-hmm. It's great talking to you.
Hey, you too. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Great. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay dry. Thank you for all listening. I hope this inspires you all to try to do this for your own communities and for other places around the world, not just for up here. There's other pipelines that people aren't aware of that light needs to be shone on, and people need to see in the light of these. And if we can show that we can win this fight, because we are winning this fight to an extent.
We are. Well, look at how many tribes came together. Look at how many people came here to support this. Look at other camps that are rising up, that have started. I mean,
it's not even just the tribes. All nationalities came out here to support.
Yeah,
us.
exactly.
All over the world, people came from over just to stop this pipeline. Because they share the same conviction and the same compassion that we have for each other, and so they don't want to see other people's planet, like other people's places, homesteads or domiciles being polluted, and they don't want to see that kind of stuff because they know what happens. So they're here with us, standing up for our liberties, because rights can be taken away, but liberties are something that you have, and water is a liberty. You have the liberty of water. And a liberty of life and air. Although people may not think it this way, you do have it. It should be a liberty. You shouldn't have to pay for water. You shouldn't have to charge anything for all these commodities. Like, these are life necessities. You shouldn't have to pay for them. Like, you shouldn't have to work towards money and getting a job. You shouldn't have to work towards that. Like, it should all just be where we all live together. We were living out here without money.
That's true. This was actually a model for what you're talking about. I mean, there's obviously, there were people giving a lot of donations and everything, so money or whatever played some. But I mean, with water, come on.
Yeah.
Why should you be paying for water?
You shouldn't have to.
It's ridiculous. I mean, and the fact that they take tap water and then they filter it through some filtration system, and then they bottle it up, and they're paying like almost nothing at all, like such a tiny amount for that water. Like, it's ridiculous how much water they actually use. They basically almost for free they're getting all this water, this tap water, and then they're selling it.
They're selling it in contaminated containers.
And they're selling it in containers that I guess it's questionable whether the plastic is healthy or not. But they're making massive money off of something that is a natural resource that should be free for everyone. You should be able to open your tap, and you should have clean water, and there are ways that can happen. I mean, in reality, there could be some kind of government subsidized filtration system even in your own house that you can easily at least be able to have clean water, because that's health, right? You should have better health.
Yeah.
You figure that if everybody's drinking cleaner water, maybe the government will probably spend less money on medical related stuff. insurance-related type funding that the government would have to put money towards. So I mean, that's something you could think of things like that. That actually makes sense. Like that water being clean, clean water being a right. That makes a lot of sense. And right here, we have the Oahe River, which is directly connected to the Missouri River. The multiple Native American nations rely on this water, and then another, literally 20 million or almost 20 million people actually are affected by this water. To a pretty high degree. It's hard to say, like you could say, the people who are right next to this water supply that has the pipeline, that they're making this pipeline underneath, those people are going to be the most affected. And other people, they might not even realize that they're affected, and maybe 30, 40 years from now they get cancer because of it, because they're drinking, because there's a constant oil spill, and the municipal water supply system is not designed to take out the chemicals that are used for fracking, and it's not designed to take that stuff out. So at the end of the day, you end up with toxic chemicals. And whether you're right here, right in this particular location that we're standing, and you're drinking directly from the Oahe River, or whether you're 1,000 miles south, that's going to still have some effect. If there's a spill, it's going to have some effect, whether it's a small effect or whether it's a massive effect. There's going to be an effect, and I don't know why anybody would want their lives and their children's lives and their grandchildren's lives at risk over this kind of pipeline running underneath this river. And it actually runs pretty much. It runs underneath the Missouri River 2 times.
So what's it all for?
And it runs underneath in one direction, and then later it goes back in the original side of the river that it started. So it's like they found some route that they were able to get permissions and approvals, and the route is so irresponsible, I think, because it didn't technically even have to go underneath.
It didn't.
Underneath the river at even one time, but it went under twice. So this is and in reality, people in Bismarck might think that maybe, again, people in Bismarck, there's all kinds of different people and all kinds of different opinions. Some of the people there, they don't think that this matters to them, because they're north of this particular crossing of the pipeline.
It's kind of weird to think about it, because if Bismarck didn't want the pipeline, why would you think that we would?
Yeah, exactly. Why the hell would anybody want the pipeline? If Bismarck doesn't want it, why would the Standing Rock Sioux Nation want it? Why would any other why would Sacred Stone or any other camp or nation, anybody? Why would anybody want this? No matter what you are, if you're white or Native American or any other race, religion, or you have whatever belief system you might have, nobody wants to think that they're being poisoned by contaminated water. And the point I was gonna make is that people talk about downstream, below this particular crossing underneath the Oahe River, which is just off of the Missouri River. Underneath it, people think because the water's traveling down that those are the people that are going to be affected. But if you actually think about it, the pipeline crosses way above. It crosses north of Bismarck also. This exact same pipeline crosses north of Bismarck. So it's kind of crazy that people would think that this is a good idea.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't quite understand it, because when this pipeline's finished, there's going to be 6 people manning a pipeline. That's kind of the regular 6 or 12 people man a pipeline.
So you're saying 6 or 12 people are going to basically have jobs at the end of the day?
Yep. All these police officers, they won't have jobs. There's not going to be security here. There's just going to be a bunch of engineers just manning a pipeline that's thousands of miles long.
Yeah.
That's very irresponsible if you think about it, because we could have so much more better things out here. We could have solar, we could have wind power, and although all those things, you have to mine for the minerals in order to get the batteries, but in the long run it's not as damaging as fracking and then sending crude oil, using more water, pure water, and mixing it with oil and sending it thousands of miles across states just to be used and then burned again. So it's going to be refined and then burned. Even in the refining process, it's going to have pollutants put in the air, and and after it's burned, it's going to have more pollutants in the air. So, what is it all really worth? Is this all worth it? In my opinion, it's not. Because we could all live sustainably. We could all farm and have agriculture. We could go to greener sources of energy. We don't need to be relying on these things. These ways are old. They're hundreds of years old. And look where those people are at. They're gone. They're not here anymore. It's like people who are still in like oil businesses. They are getting sick. They are in well health. They have to pay for higher medical care. They gotta pay for all the types of stuff because of the sicknesses they are getting, the diseases that they're getting, like cancer. They're getting cancers. They're gonna have to provide for their workers, or workers are getting cancer. And that's not a good thing because they're jeopardizing their well-being and then the workers' well-being, and not even just the workers, everybody around them's well-being. It really makes me cross just thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, like, okay, people argue like, oh, well, you know, what about you? You drive a car with oil or something like that. It's like, I'm not making a pipeline that's going to spill and cause, that has a massive chance of spilling over the course of, you know, whatever. I don't know if it's going to spill tomorrow or it might have a small leak in it that they might not even know about. Well, somebody, I forgot what the gentleman's name was, but he used to work for the oil company, for Enbridge, and he was talking about how they all pretty much leak, and they might be small leaks in some cases, in other cases they're big leaks. But if you have a small leak over 20 years or something,
it's going to amount to something.
It's going to, well, come on, that's a constant toxic, spew
of chemicals.
Yeah, exactly. A constant toxic spew of chemicals, like you said. That's what it is. It's a spew of chemicals.
It's not good for anybody. It's not good for Earth. It's not good for the plant life. It's not good for the people. Heck, it's not even good for the people who are providing the corporations, because then they're going to have to pay for money in the long run. Like just today, I heard that they lost, I think it was $2.5 or $2.3 million in just today, and that's really astonishing just from us being here. Like,
So like you're saying that that the company building this pipeline,
yeah, and certain investors that are investing in this pipeline lost money today.
Okay.
And over
just because we're here today, like why,
yeah.
So they lost money. Like, do they lose that much every day, or was it today? Like it was.
So today they lost that much, and every day they lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you'd have to look at the numbers.
But the thing is this: I'm not even sure why they would lose that much money. I mean, there's been some really amazing things happening, like the divestments.
Yeah.
Like Washington actually, divested from Wells Fargo, because Wells Fargo funded a lot of this pipeline, and that was like over $3 billion. And then the city of Santa Monica divested $1 billion. So they lost. They're losing a lot. The companies that are involved in funding this, in producing this, they're losing money. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't think it hurts anybody that people are here, though. I mean, we're here and we're making our voices clear, and we're exercising our rights as human beings. As citizens and human beings, and even if you're not a citizen, you have a certain rights to speak your voice and to make it heard, that so that the world can see that there's things that are happening that aren't always right. Just because something sounds like it might be okay doesn't mean that like you just have to be like, oh, okay, fine, the pipeline is great, it's going to make some money for somebody. Yeah, it's also going to potentially harm literally tens of millions of people. And you won't even know it necessarily if it's harming you. You might have some health problems, like 10 years down the road, and you won't even associate it, and you won't even realize that there's actually certain chemicals in your water that the municipal water system, the filtration system that they use, is not even capable of taking out. And I'm not even sure that the best filters are capable of fully removing. Usually with filters you can remove sometimes like 90-something%, some of them 99% of certain chemicals, like chlorine, for example. That's a common one that's easy to remove. You can remove it with like really cheap filters. But there are other chemicals that are much harder to remove, and then it's just a very big challenge. And one filter doesn't remove everything. I've researched water filters. I know for a fact that in order to get a water filter to remove, say, like, if you wanted to remove chlorine, okay, you use like activated charcoal, and it removes that, no problem. But then if you also wanted to remove fluoride, it won't remove fluoride. If you wanted to remove arsenic, it's not going to touch the arsenic. It'll remove other chemicals to a degree, and there's to a certain percentage. So again, we're talking about if this pipeline leaks, which I think there's a good likelihood it will, especially that it's going underneath the water, underneath the ground. It's going deep underneath the ground too. I mean, if there's some kind of earthquake or something, anything happens over the years, the ground is extremely powerful, much stronger than some steel. Steel can rust too. It's not even stainless steel that they're using. And you know, this is kind of, I think it's irresponsible. I think that they're just trying to make some quick money, and that they should have completed this environmental study, you know, environmental impact study. You know, they should have at least do the sorry, I'm like twisting my tongue. Due diligence of finding out how risky this pipeline really is.
How much oil is inside these fields? We're not too sure.
Nobody, right? I'm just Chairman Fraser is going to negotiate with them. So I'm going to talk to them right now.
Have a wonderful day.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for your words. Thank you for your comments, your experiences, and the information that you've shared. And thank you so much. Thank you. And what's your name?
I'm Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel Bahi.
Thank you. I'm James.
Pleasure to meet you, James.
Thank you. Have a great day. I mean, a great night, I should say. Thanks. You too. Thanks. Yeah. Ed over there is trying to keep the peace, you know, trying to make it so that, you know, the police are maybe less nervous about what, you know, I guess that there's some fear that the police have, you know, so they don't want us coming anywhere near them. We don't really want them coming anywhere near us either. Okay, so then at least we agree on something. So I guess that's, so at least Ed is doing, you know, he's a great guy, trying to keep the peace, Ed Higgins. You know, he does Facebook Live too, and he's got Activate Network on Facebook, and Ed Higgins, great guy trying to keep the peace. He came up and he was talking to the police officers, and he was trying to, you know, negotiate something, and he actually diffused the situation. He kind of diffused things down. I mean, you know, we kind of had hack cameras and everything going, and that was helping to maybe prevent certain things from happening, and it was helping to get the word out. But he came out and he like was negotiating, and I guess that at this point, on account of that, it seems that tonight at least we're not going to have to worry about getting raided or anything like that, you know, or getting you know, assaulted by the police. There's at least some contact and communication. You know, you have to have some kind of communication if you want to keep the peace. You know, you have to. So whether you agree with what they're protecting, whether you agree with you know, with what they're, so he's just talking to the police officer. You have to keep an open line of communication. That's what's important. So he's a really smart guy. Ed Higgins is a really smart guy. Seriously, I can vouch for that. And you know, you got to talk to people. You got to keep an open mind. Like the police officers here, they're not all bad people. Maybe a couple of them are, but you know, but again, there's a couple of people everywhere that are not necessarily the best people in the world. But the most of them, I'm sure that they're decent human beings, and they don't want anything bad to happen. They don't necessarily want to get into an altercation. They don't want to hurt people. Some of them, maybe they do. Again, we can't judge them all and assume that. So at least there's a conversation, and at least there's some peace tonight. There's some kind of offering of some kind of treaty, at least for the moment. Okay, so that's good. I like that. I like that people are talking. I like that people are communicating, and that they're trying to resolve issues by talking. So here he comes. So, you know, even if you don't agree with people about, you know, what they might be protecting or what they stand for, or what they're, you know, you don't necessarily know what they believe when they're, you know, they're doing some kind of a certainly you can view their actions. And
We're gonna have negotiations, and unfortunately the sheriff's gone home for the night, so we are here till probably 9:30 tomorrow when we start negotiations again.
okay, so I was just telling people how you're a smart guy and you're trying to talk to them and have an open line of communication, so that we don't have like just a bunch of people screaming at each other or intimidation of police towards us, and that's it. So yeah, so you're doing the right thing. And
I'm just a simple man. I'm not anything important.
Well, you are important, but you're not a you don't have like an elected position of some sort. You're not a governor. You're just a regular person who's been supporting.
A chief correspondent for my company.
Activate Now.
News.
Activate Now. I actually mentioned it right while you were talking.
Which means I get no pay and I get a cool badge.
Yeah.
I totally forgot. I flaked. Let me go ask. Sorry.
Hey, I was just gonna let you know the captain that I talked to earlier that was telling me about the tow truck after they evacuated everyone or whatever. His name's Eric Peterson.
That's who you talked to.
Yeah, it's the captain.
Yeah, he's the captain.
And tell him if they want proof, we have his card.
I have his card in my car.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So tell him we're not
bluffing. I'm not trying to negotiate or anything. I'm trying to do them a favor and get out.
Yeah. What's going on, bro?
Could you tell me what happened? Like.
Well, I lost my keys. It was the only set of keys that I had. But I talked to one of the captains earlier because I was trying to get out of here before everything went downhill. I have a 4-year-old at home, so trying to do what was smart. And he was like, well, when everything's said and done, this evening, we'll see if we can get you a tow truck out here. And I was like, okay, cool. It's this evening. They're not gone. There's still people here. I'm still here. They just said that they won't negotiate or whatever to what he said. I hope they don't do the same to me. Let's hope they...
They're saying they said something about not wanting to negotiate until the sheriff comes, something like that. I don't know if that's...
It doesn't surprise me, but yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to do them a favor, like I said, and get out. I want to be out of the way. They rushed my car earlier.
They rushed your car?
Yeah, they were standing 10 feet from my car.
Yeah. Well, you while they were rushing at all of us, right?
Yeah. When they were rushing at everybody.
Yeah. I mean, they were charging at me. I was running too. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I seen somebody in orange turn around and run, and I booked it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gone. I wasn't playing.
It was hard. It was hard. It was hard seeing a couple people getting arrested and stuff.
There was one person, or was there more than one?
I know it was one that was right here for sure, and then
he was up there past the sign.
What even happened?
I don't know. I caught it at the last second. I was actually just running back to our car and stuff, and then I turned around and I seen I'll say about 3
There
cops.
was 3 or 4 on him.
And somebody said that they tased him or something like that. Wow. So I don't know what happened.
He was arching like this.
And there's I didn't see anything violent myself personally.
No, I didn't either. I
didn't see anybody from water protector side.
Right.
They were just standing there from what I saw. So
we were just standing there. We were waiting. I mean, it was a standoff, literally.
So. Yeah. Yeah. So this is you're the individual who's you can't get in.
Stuck.
You can't. Is it stuck in the snow?
No, I'm just stranded.
You literally just can't get in. You can't.
I can't. It's open. I can get in. I just don't have the key to turn the ignition on.
Oh, okay.
I lost my only set of keys. So.
I see. And I don't know why, but they thought it was for some reason they kept calling the person a grandma. They thought it was an old lady for some reason.
No, it's me.
Yeah, you're not an old lady. But I mean, there's anything wrong with being an old lady.
No, right.
Or anybody who's old. But they kind of, for some reason, there was some kind of miscommunication about who they were talking about, because I guess originally there were several people that had some issue trying to get out.
Yeah.
And so I guess they might have thought it was somebody else who already left.
Well, there was an older lady that was down there, and she was having trouble getting out, but we got her jumper cables and stuff from Echo 1, and she got out just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, she peeled out getting out, but she got out just fine. But no, I'm the only one left with any type of car trouble as of outside.
And if that's and if you want to leave, then you should be able to get out of here.
Exactly. I'm just trying to get out of the way. I'm trying to do what I was asked. I've stayed out of the way the whole time, and
I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to.
Well, everybody. I mean, it's not like anybody here
Has been in the way.
Look, the thing is this: if they want to, they have this. If they really want to build this pipeline, that's those lights right there, back there. If they really want to build this pipeline, it's not like us being here right now. It's
Right.
actually they have like. I don't think a maximum security prison has the kind of fences and barbed wire and all kinds of stuff.
We were just talking about
It's not
it.
even. It's like literally like the same, if not even more,
Exactly.
than a maximum security prison. You cannot get in there.
And
okay?
not
It's
to mention that when they were standing off, there was a 9-year-old little boy that was missing, and his name was RJ, and he was supposed to be at Sacred Stone because they evacuated from here, but he never made it. And instead of searching for this missing little boy, they were standing here rushing people that wanted clean water.
Rushing people that weren't even doing anything to them. They were just standing there.
here, just like this.
Videotaping.
Yes.
Okay, so so what happened with this 9-year-old boy?
We don't know.
So there is a 9-year-old boy missing,
From as of what they said,
or there
whenever
was,
they were standoff.
so we don't even know. I mean, if that might have been resolved already.
It might have been.
The Sacred
but I
Stone
haven't
is
heard
not even.
anything.
It's not this camp,
No,
right?
this is Oceti. Sacred Stone is all those. See those buildings and the trees up on the hill?
Okay, so yeah. Okay, this is Oceti Sakowin camp, and Sacred Stone is like way up there. You can kind of see some tents in the distance.
Yeah,
it's
where
up,
the
up on the
dome
top
and
of the
stuff
hill.
is.
It's like up on the top of the hill, and that's Sacred Stone. So you're saying there was some kind of issue where there was a boy missing
Yes.
at that camp?
Yeah, he evacuated from here.
Oh, okay. So he
9-year-old
evacuated.
little boy named RJ. He evacuated from here, and he was supposed to make it to Sacred Stone, and they couldn't find him anywhere.
What? So who did he go with? Like, how does that make sense?
We don't know.
So we're not even sure what's going on. Something happened. Well, here's the thing. We have to remember there was a lot of pressure
Yes.
for people to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
Definitely.
And there was a lot of pressure. Get out of here right now. And so many people were scared.
Yeah.
And then what they did was, when people went on a march, people went on a peace march.
Yeah, we went up to pray at the bridge. We were in that. We walked up to pray at the bridge, and there was 2 ambulances that came through.
Wait. So how did? So what I from what I.
Get you a tow truck. We'll have it up soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hope you
Appreciate
guys
it.
get home.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
We actually do have a favor to ask if it's possible. Is there any way we can maybe get in someone's car to maybe charge our phone?
Well, I need to charge my phone
Yeah,
too.
just some way so we can get.
I don't see why not. You have to just ask somebody. I don't have a car.
You know the car I'm in?
How much? You need to call somebody.
Might have to charge just for a few minutes.
You need to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was going to offer to let you charge a little bit. If you need to call.
Well, we don't have the numbers in our menu.
No. I mean, you can
He's got a
use
portable
my. You
charger.
can use my.
Portable? Oh, okay.
You can use my portable to charge up your phone at least enough, at least enough that you can make some phone calls.
Oh yeah, definitely. That
Do you have a wire by any chance?
Yeah, it's down at the car.
Okay.
Can I do? I do want to relay a message to everybody. This is my first time out here, and I have witnessed everything that was true on Facebook. All of it, you guys. And it's not just an Indian thing. And I have an Indian woman, and I've been with her for 2 years, so it's not just an Indian thing. It's about a community. Blacks, whites, Hispanic, everybody as a community. We need to come together, and we need to show the government that what they're doing is wrong. Hurting innocent people just because we believe that water is life. Because it is. Because without water, how do we live?
You know what it is? Clean water is like.
Clean water.
Because you know what? I mean, it's like they yeah, sure, they want water, but they don't understand like you know what? They're actually putting water at risk. They're putting everyone at risk, including themselves.
That bottled water has to come from somewhere.
It does.
That bottled water comes from somewhere, just like the water that comes out of your tap.
But it's naturally clean. It's naturally clean if you don't mess with it.
Exactly.
If you don't screw with it, like I mean, okay, there's some rivers or something where like some animal might poo in it or something, and it might get contaminated or something like that. But this river is really clean. I don't know what's going on right now because there's so much, well, there's some people that think there was some kind of I don't want to say like what do you call it, conspiracy theories or things that might not be true.
Yeah.
There were people that thought that maybe there was trying to, I don't know, spray something,
chemtrails or
something.
that. I've heard a lot of that.
Again, I don't know if that's true, and I don't want to spread those kind of things. I mean, but of course that makes people scared that maybe the water could be contaminated as well.
Definitely. Then this is my second time here, so this isn't the first time that I've been here. This is the first time that I've seen all of this happen. The last time I was here was back in September though, and it was right as the Aztecs got up here, and I've never seen such a sense of community as what I had seen in this camp right here, because that same week that I was here, there was a little girl that miscommunication with her parents. One went home and one stayed here, and she told the one that was here she was going home, or told the one that was here she was staying here, and told the one that was going home, hey, I want to go with you. And everybody that was here, there was I don't know, I don't even know how to estimate how many people were here, but everybody got up and left. And that's what this is about. It's about a sense of community. It's about a sense of unity, standing up to fight something that isn't good for everyone. It's not just us. It's not just natives, like he said. It's not just black people or Hispanic people or Aztec people or anything like that. It's a human thing.
This
It's
is
not
something
a
we all
race
share.
thing.
We all share this.
It's a human thing. It's a living thing. Everything that lives needs water. And if you contaminate that water with oil, you contaminate that water with anything, then how are you going to live? How are you going to do what you need to do? How are you going to wake up and go to your job every morning?
Exactly. And even a small amount of oil, right?
Yeah.
I'm just asking everybody, just put down your guys' problems, just put it away, and just find a way to come together and just realize this is the actual war right here that we're going through.
Well, it's a war, but also interesting. I mean, you have peace talks and stuff, and unfortunately, Ed Higgins, he's the gentleman that's been talking to the officer. He's been actually making peace, trying to negotiate, trying to find solutions through conversation, not just like
Because we are peaceful people, and we don't want problems. We
of course.
don't want anything bad to come of any of this. All we want is water for our future generations. Like I said, I have a 4-year-old at home, and I can't imagine her living in a world with no clean water. I can't imagine her having to go to a bottled water to take a bath.
Yeah.
Or having a boil alert all the time. There's people in Six Nations in Canada in First Nations in Canada that have to deal with that. There's children that don't know clean water up there, and I don't want that for my baby.
And you can't take out chemicals through boiling. Some of them, maybe some of them, but you
sometimes.
can't. Some of them you could take out. I heard chlorine will sort of evaporate if you boil it, but then again, it's again how much of it evaporates and how much stays.
Iffy.
It's very iffy. So you can't just like rely on that. And there's so many filters you have to actually get in order to take out pretty much all the chemicals.
Clean water.
When you actually look at a filter system, you look, and I've researched filter systems before for my own purposes, because I was looking for something for myself.
Right.
And you could see that they have to put multiple filters in line. Each filter does a certain thing.
Water is life!
Water is life! This is what it's all about.
That's
everybody.
what this movement is about. Unity and standing together for something that you believe in. Standing for something that you feel will do this world right. It's not about an individual. It's not about a single pipeline. It's not about this pipeline. It's not about the Keystone pipeline. It's not about the pipelines that they're trying to start in Florida and in Texas. It's about every pipeline. Every pipeline breaks at some point. It doesn't matter what kind of iron or steel or bolts that you use, where it's made at, every pipeline ruptures.
Every structure has a life cycle.
Exactly.
Every structure is eventually going to break. So no matter what you make, and this is not okay. But here's another thing is really interesting. First of all, this thing's going under the ground.
Exactly, under the river.
Under the river, under the ground, and what this means, if there's any kind of shift in the ground for whatever reason, even if it's whether it's an earthquake or some other reason, whatever, if over the years there's some kind of shift. Something. Well, there's actually, the pipes are going to be made out of steel,
right?
Not stainless steel, too, which means that there could be corrosion, that the thing can rust right through over the years. There's a lot of risks here, And
lot.
and when you're under the ground, it's actually more risky than when you're above ground. Because when you're
Yeah.
above ground, you can actually imagine there's some flex to the pipe system.
And
right?
you can see where it's broken. You can see where you need to go fix it. Under the ground, you're guesstimating the whole time.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, it started here, it's coming here, but where did the leak start? You know what I mean? There's no guarantee
There's
of anything when it comes to a man-made structure. There's
Everything has
no
a
guarantee.
weakness. Everything
There
has a
is a fault in every man-made structure. Over time, right then and there, whether it be, like I said, instantaneous, take 10, 20, 30 years, there is a fault in every man-made structure, and it will fail.
eventually it will fail,
And
if
you will not have water.
or you'll have water, you just won't be clean.
Millions of people, exactly.
It won't be clean. It just won't be
Millions-
healthy.
Millions and millions of people. I live on this river. I'm from Kansas City. I live on this river. I live 5 minutes from this river. And if this pipeline bursts under here, our water is screwed down there. That's where Kansas City gets all its water from, is the Missouri River. You know? And so this does affect me directly and personally. But even at that, these are my people, and this is something that isn't okay for the earth. It's something that can really, really, really tear what you know as life up if it bursts, if something does happen.
And the thing that's crazy, the thing that's really scary, is that people wouldn't even know necessarily, like why they're getting sick or what's
Right.
going on. They wouldn't necessarily even know. And if it's a small leak, from what I've heard, I was watching this interview. It's a gentleman who was working at Enbridge before, and he was saying that they all leak and that they can't even tell if it's small leaks. And I guess when you have such a long pipe, a small change in pressure,
Oh, yeah.
it wouldn't be obvious because it's such a long pipe.
Oh, yeah.
So they wouldn't even tell. They can't even tell. A lot of the time when the pipeline's leaking. And if it's a small leak, that's a constant small leak
Yes.
over many years.
It's a constant flow into your water, and then you're like, well, why am I getting sick? And you start to change your daily habits, and you start to change some of the foods that you eat, because sometimes you grow allergies over time to certain things, and nothing is helping. Nobody knows, but there's a gas main that just broke.
Who knows? Yeah, exactly.
Or there's a pipeline under a river that just so happened to leak for the last 6 months, even 6 months of continuous leakage.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the devastation to the forestry around it?
Or 10 years of continuous
Exactly.
leakage.
You know what I mean? Like it's
And
just,
we're talking about like percentages of when you look at water filters, it always tells you when you look at the statistics on the water filters, what do they call it? It's the status. I'm like going blank at this point. They call it a. It's like a statistics, but it's like
like a data sheet.
A data sheet,
report,
yeah, like a data sheet. Water, a test report or data sheet.
Right.
When you look at this when you look at the sheet, it'll list a bunch of chemicals, and it'll list how much of each chemical it removes. It has like this one, it might be 20. Maybe this one it might be 20%. This one is 99%.
Right.
This one might be 89%. This one's 70-something%. And this one maybe it doesn't take out almost at all. So you got all these different like it's not just about 100% this way or that way.
Right.
So you can contaminate the water, not like to the point where people necessarily get sick immediately.
Yeah,
and
it can be an overtime thing.
It could be an overtime thing. They might not ever realize that it's coming from that. They might be having serious health issues. They could die.
Caused from years and years and years of drinking unknowingly contaminated water.
Yes, or and
Sick.
and who knows, because I don't think there's a safe level for some of these chemicals.
Right. They shouldn't be in there at all. It's water. It was perfect whenever it started. It'll be perfect if you just leave it alone.
Exactly.
You don't have to do anything to it. It's like that itself. It was made like that.
Exactly.
You don't have to fix it or anything like that. It
has nutrients. Actually, the natural water from natural springs that are clean. It's in a lot of ways it can be healthier than than the stuff that's filtered. If you filter it out, you take out a lot of the minerals and nutrients out. So you can actually have healthier water when it's coming from a natural source.
A natural spring or something
or
like
natural,
that.
Or the river, the Oahe River. We don't, like I said, I mentioned that some people were thinking, like, what if they were doing chemtrails or this or that, and what if that got into the river, or what if that's what ifs. But I mean, we know that this is it's a natural river, and that people and that multiple Native American tribes rely on it,
yes.
and a lot of big cities that have mostly populations that are not Native American.
Right.
And so we're talking about.
They're leaving.
What's going on? Somebody's leaving?
They're all leaving.
I don't know. Let's see. Hold on, things focus back. There we go.
Yeah, he said they should be here soon.
So it looks like the police officers, at least some of them right now, are heading in the opposite direction. So they're leaving. We see police officers. So this is good that we're still covering it, because now we get to see this.
Right.
Police officers, their vehicles are actually turning around now, and it's hard to focus from a distance, I guess, on some things. I think it's because it's lights.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so anyways, we could see it pretty clearly here. They're turning around. They're driving away from this road that they had their vehicles occupying. I don't know if that means that they're removing any kinds of blockades. Maybe they're going to be moving down the road a little bit. But they are moving further away from us. Maybe for the sake of trying to de-escalate things further. Again, I can't say enough good about how Ed Higgins, he came forward and he was negotiating and trying to reduce the conflicts, and trying to just kind of have an open conversation with the police officers, so that they can we can be on at least have an understanding of where other people are coming from. It's not about about a conversation of pipelines. It's a conversation about peace. So I mean, you have to understand each other. You have to talk to each other. So yeah, I gotta say that I have to say that's a really amazing.
We're gonna go charge our phones.
Okay, cool. Do you want to use my charger? I got the charger with me.
We're gonna go get our cords and stuff. And,
Okay. I'm gonna turn this off in a few minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, if you, I mean, this thing's almost done with. But
yeah.
But if you,
There'll probably be a couple cops left just to keep watch or whatever. But that strong presence is gone for now.
And I maybe have even. Let me see if trying to see if maybe I had it in one of my pockets. If maybe I even had a cord or something. I know it's chilly out here too.
Yeah, it is.
It's starting to get cold.
It's starting to drop again.
Is it? Is it raining a little bit?
I thought I felt something. Maybe not. Yeah, it's cold.
And I wanted to ask, there was people that went on this peace march, and a lot of people ended up getting basically closed off from coming back in.
Yeah.
So I mean,
we just happened to walk away before they made everybody get on the bus.
So that was before they made everybody.
Before they made everybody get on the bus, that was over there.
So what happened exactly? Because I didn't see it personally.
We walked up there and there was a bus waiting.
A bus?
I want to say kind of like a Pelican bus.
Was this a bus that had to do with the police, or was this a bus?
No, it was just a bus.
Okay, so people.
There wasn't anything. I don't think there was anything written on it.
Nah, it was just. I think
maybe like an elderly homes bus or something like that.
So who arranged for this bus to show up?
We don't know.
So were the police? I mean, because from what I heard, they had people walked a certain amount. They were doing this peace march.
Yeah.
They ended up.
I think it was our people that had. That
I think
arranged.
yeah. I think it was us.
I don't think
that
it had nothing to do with the police or anything like that. Because down there, I know. I don't know if he was chief or not or whatever, but he just wants this to be peaceful. That's it. And
as peaceful as possible.
Yeah, and that's why they had the bus and everything. So he just wanted it.
So you're saying that most of the people who because I'm hearing, obviously I heard conflicting reports. So there was some people that I heard that they ended up getting stuck, like they couldn't come back in, and then like you're saying.
Once they went out. Once they passed the barricade, the street blockade that they had up there, they couldn't turn around and come back.
So when
in.
they did this march, this peace march, did people pass that barricade?
I don't know. I turned around just in time to not have to get on the bus.
So
or
then,
anything
so
to
it
come
may,
back
so it
in.
may actually be the case that there were people that passed the barricade during the march that
And-
weren't planning on leaving.
Yeah, and couldn't come back in.
Yeah, because that's what it seemed like there were some pretty passionate people.
Oh, yeah.
And they wanted to march for peace and
You've got to be passionate to walk in sleeting snow in almost 20-degree weather. You've got to be passionate about what you're doing because it was cold, and the chunks of snow that were coming down were about this big.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't stopping anytime soon.
And you were saying that there was the chief.
Well, we don't know if it was the chief.
But it was somebody from the police department.
No, it was our people.
From the tribe.
Yeah, from the tribe. It was a person from the tribe that was just telling us that he just wants this to end peacefully, without any fatalities or anything like that. So
he was praying, and he said, thanks. We want to pray for the officers because they did give us time to come out peacefully and do what we needed to do peacefully instead of coming in and aggravating the situation and making provoking us to retaliate.
They did do some stuff today that wasn't good. They did do some stuff that wasn't good. The charging at us and stuff and on this.
But that was after everybody that didn't want to be here was able to leave. They had their chance to leave, and everybody that was here either wanted to be here or like us kind of just got stuck.
Yeah, but still, I mean, they did make it. I guess they treated the people who left right away. They treated those people better than the people who decided that they wanted to stay and still continue to support this cause. I mean, the voices need to continue to be heard.
I agree. It's not over.
You can't just suddenly leave and say, okay, we don't care anymore. We're just going to give up. When there's so much at stake, and this isn't only about this pipeline. This is about our clean water in general. This is about our environment. This is about treaty rights. This is about indigenous rights in general. This is about human rights. This is about police brutality issues. There's all kinds of issues happening here at the same time
that you can see in every live feed, in every video that's posted on Facebook. You can see a sense of community, and then you can see, once we get out here, what we're met with. We're met with billy clubs and rubber bullets and unconditional, almost hatred, it seems, towards people that, like you said, all we want is clean water. All we have on our agenda is clean water.
Yeah,
there's no underlying message. There's no anything along those lines. All we want is for you to leave the water alone.
That's all.
Exactly.
And this job is not for everybody.
Nope.
I mean, and it's not a paying job, but this environment is not for everybody. I'm not a cold person or winter person, but I'm out here because I believe that we need water in our life. So, I mean,
we need clean water, and we need it to be accessible, and it needs to be easily accessible clean water, and it shouldn't be like through the roof prices just to get some clean water, know. But yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense, and they're different. Obviously, not all the officers are the same, and I'm sure some of them wanted to put down their batons or wanted to.
And it's understandable, I understand you have kids. I understand you need to feed your family. I understand that this is a job, but where do you draw that moral line between this being a job and this being something that you wouldn't do, to your own family? Why would you do it to someone else?
Sure. There were things that I think crossed the line of what their job was, and when they were throwing like some kind of explosive devices at people.
Canisters, tear gas canisters.
Well, they threw a female's, a young lady's, a chunk of her arm was blown out.
Yeah.
And they threw something explosive. People said it was a concussion grenade, which is kind of like a grenade without a bunch of shrapnel, which is just like a bunch of metal pieces that the explosive shoots out and causes. Those metal pieces are what end up hurting people. So or what kill people from a distance. But I guess if you throw a grenade without the shrapnel, it's still really loud. It still explodes.
Oh yeah.
It's just not as dangerous. It's not. I would say
basically a flashbang. It disorients you. It throws your eyesight.
But
off.
it has but it explodes.
Yeah.
And if you hit somebody in the arm with it,
it's gonna explode and it's gonna do damage just as it did.
It did. It blew a huge chunk of her arm out.
Yeah, and then Susie.
Susie,
got-
she lost her
Yeah.
eye. She,
And
I think
it's
she had surgery. She had multiple surgeries. She has like some tiny bit of vision.
She said it's very blurred in the last video that I seen of her, and they said that it might dissipate, anytime soon. There's no.
But she had
timeline on it.
surgeries on it, and there's certain things that were damaged that may not be repaired
Yeah.
ever.
That
And she
can't
may not
be
ever get that eyesight back, or maybe with some kind of technological advancement 20, 30 years from now, maybe.
Maybe.
But that's her quality of life, and her having to get surgeries. She was non-violently, demonstrating. She wasn't posing any direct threat to the police
Right.
officers. They shot her in the eye with this rubber bullet. It's not really rubber. It's actually like a baton round. It's called,
Yeah.
and it's like a foam bullet basically that hits that.
It looks like a longer version of travel size deodorant. That's the best thing I can equate it to.
But it's like a really large, like hard foam bullet
Yeah.
that basically hurts a lot. But also, if it hits in a certain area, such as in the eye, it can cause permanent damage.
Obviously, yeah.
And it did in this case. So there were officers that I think got way out of hand. They took it personally. They got angry. They tried to get revenge on people, and things got way out of hand. And you know what? That's them. That's them personally, as well as of course, other people above them. But when you start taking things, and there was definitely animosity, I think that a lot of the officers were feeling, and there were things that happened that shouldn't have happened, and this is a serious human rights violation issue. And I mean, but we shouldn't assume that it's all of them. I'm sure some of those officers there probably didn't want to shoot anybody.
Well, and I've heard multiple people, eyewitness the movement being in the direct actions that have said they've seen officers standing on the opposite side of them crying because they don't want to do what they're ordered to do. They don't want to be there, and that's something that hits home. That's something that definitely makes you see that it's not just mean, hateful people on the opposite side of this. These are people trying to feed their family, and these are people that are just trying to do their job, and they don't feel like there's a way out, or they feel like they couldn't make better money somewhere else, or whatever the reason may be. But they don't want to be here either. I can guarantee you there's people out here that don't want to be here. But once you feel that pull, and once you feel that fire burn inside of you, there's nothing that you can do to stop it. You will be here sooner or later, if it's in you.
Yeah,
And
because
it's worth it.
And you don't have to be in this particular camp. Well, now this camp, I think they're probably closing off access to. But there is Sacred Stone, which right now currently you can be in. There's also I forgot what the name of it was. There's another one I mentioned earlier. A gentleman was telling me about Seventh Generation?
Yeah, I
Seventh
remember
Generation,
them saying
yes,
something about that.
yeah. So Seventh Generation is another camp that apparently, because it's on private land that's owned by. This is what it was told to me. I just found out about this. Owned by a Native American person.
Miss LaDonna, yeah.
Wait, so that's Sacred Stone, though, right?
Yeah, she owns that, and I'm not sure who owns.
But Seventh Generation, I'm not sure who owns. But this is what somebody was telling me just now, so I'm not gonna. Don't hold me to every little detail on that one. But basically, that they were saying that Seventh Generation was the safest one to be on. It's also very close to here, and that one is the one that people can go to and not have to worry at all. But again, Sacred Stone is the kind of
it's the biggest one.
It's the biggest one now.
And it's also the original.
It's the original. It was actually LaDonna that made the call out for people to come and show their support. To stand with her and
to stand against all of this that's happening now. And it just goes to show you. It's sad. I was saying in my car. It's sad that, like I said earlier about the little boy, that law enforcement would much rather, protect money than the people of their community. Because that little boy was from here. I'm pretty sure.
So I was wondering if maybe what happened was that because they were somehow in this process of them trying to prevent people from coming back in, maybe somewhere like the little boy was I don't know, like maybe the little boy was with somebody else at the time.
And
was
that's
watching
what
them.
I was thinking.
And then like somehow the parent ended up getting separated because
Yeah.
they went on the march. Maybe they said, I don't want the little kid going on the march with me. And they said, oh, you know, like maybe they thought it was dangerous. The
Right.
police are around and this and that. So maybe they had the little boy stay behind and with somebody else. Obviously somebody they knew, I'm guessing.
Right.
But, you know, maybe some kind of miscommunication happened. Who knows? But whatever that is, I mean, that sounds like another issue that
Oh, yeah,
I'd
definitely.
like to find out more about. But
It's just sad
hopefully
that that's what our law
I would
enforcement
guess
is.
by now that would have been resolved. But I mean, of course they're not maybe prioritizing that. Maybe by then.
Yeah, definitely not prioritizing the right way. All right.
All right.
Go
Anyways.
to the courts and stuff. We're
All right.
cold.
Cool. All right. Cool. Well, anyways, I would just want to thank you both.
Thanks so much.
And thank you. It's cold out.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
No, it's cold. No, it is cold. And as you can see, I just wanted to show people. I'm ending this broadcast right now, and I just wanted to show people that the road right now is
Clear.
It looks like it's clear. I don't know if there's something else further down. There's some kind of vehicles, but it doesn't look like regular police vehicles. Maybe even an ambulance or something down the road. But there's something further down. But the police vehicles that are clearly here, you know, there were a ton of them. There were like a bunch of police cars, SUVs. They've left. So tonight, at least for now, we don't have to worry about any kind of violence or any issues from police, and people feel, you know, tomorrow there's going to be some kind of negotiations and trying to figure out how to get this lady who we were just speaking with, how to get her car, you know, out of here, how to get her another key so she can get out of this place because she wants to leave. So that's her choice, and she should be able to do that. But you know, she's stuck. So, anyways, thank you everybody for watching, and you guys have a great evening. And if you want to support, just keep watching, keep following March and Rally Los Angeles. I was also doing streaming on Peaceful Protest Helmet on Periscope. At the same time, I was streaming there. So, but you know, just support you know, March and Rally, and if you want to follow me there on Peaceful Protest Helmet on Periscope, you can do that too. I do a lot of streaming as well. And just if you want to really support, you know, like in person, then you can come to Sacred Stone or Seventh Generation Camp. These are the Sacred Stone's the biggest one right now. We don't have that many people left in Oceti Sakowin, but we're still here. There are people still here, and there's at least some peaceful talk right now. People are talking. There's some communication. Like I said, Ed Higgins, he has Activate Now, Activate Network. I think no, it's Activate Now Network. That's on Facebook, and Ed Higgins himself. He does a lot of live streaming, but he's a good, smart guy, and he was, you know, communicating with the police and trying to keep the peace. So that's really what we need too. We need people who are willing to, you know, open their minds and their hearts and have conversations and be willing to communicate. And that's the only way we can have peace, through communication. Anyways, have a wonderful night, everybody. Thank you for watching.